is the most photographed American of the 19th century. There are more portraits of Frederick Douglass than any other American poet, activist, and even president from the 1800s. And if you look closely, they're almost all identical. He's always wearing a suit and tie, his eyes sternly focused. And this, why did...
I'm gonna be honest with you, I rarely see men smile in pictures. Have you?
Frederick Douglass almost never smile in his photos. Douglass was born into slavery, but he escaped in 1838 at the age of 20, which is 27 years before slavery was abolished in the U.S. And at the time, the dominant depiction of black people was this. They were characterized as lazy, ignorant, and inferior, with...
Now be honest, let me know in the comments, why do you think black people were described as lazy? I mean, we did all the work.
Minstrel shows becoming a widely popular form of entertainment. This was also around the time photography started becoming more accessible and popular, due to a switch from printing images on metal to paper. Douglass saw this as an opportunity. Every portrait Douglass took from the time of his earliest known photograph in 1841 until his death toward the end of the century was extremely deliberate. Look at these two different portraits. They were taken 24 years apart. Notice any similarities? He sternly looks away from the camera with his brow furrowed, dressed in a suit and tie, positioned in front of simple, dark-colored backgrounds with no props, keeping the focus on his face, or as he called it, the face of the fugitive slave. His hair uncovered, and again, no smile. Which brings us back to, why didn't Frederick Douglass smile? Well, in his words, he never wanted to look like a happy, amiable fugitive slave. Instead, he chose a confident and assertive pose that defied the rules of traditional posing, conveying a strong and powerful statement that would support his fight to eradicate racism and slavery. See, photography to Douglass...
Let me know in the comments, do you smile in photos, or do you prefer to pose a little bit more, in the lines of the way he posed now?
And many black Americans was a way to combat racist and inaccurate depictions of black people. Douglass understood the importance of controlling and owning one's image, going as far as to hand out his portraits, often including them with letters he sent off. He intentionally chose poses and settings that highlighted dignity, achievement, and authority, all of which were denied to many like him who had been enslaved. The confidence he exuded in these portraits even made some question if he was ever enslaved. You can also see Douglass's portraits set a standard for black men on how to pose in a dignified manner in the photographs of other notable black thinkers, activists, and even the black president who followed him.
Let me know in the comments, when it comes to Frederick Douglass or any other black person mentioned in this video, what are your thoughts about them?
From Frederick Douglass and the abolitionist movement to the anti-lynching campaign, the civil rights movement, and Black Lives Matter, photography and the camera have indeed been employed as instruments of rebellion.